Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Hey guys, happy Monday and welcome into another edition of Who the Hell is Playing Tonight in the NBA? Powered by WagerTalk.com, of course. We are going to try to power through because your guess is as good as ours. And here to help us try to figure it all out, three of the best here at WagerTalk.com. They're like magicians, these guys. They know what the deal is, including from a prop betting perspective. Mr. Prop Andy Lang here on a Monday. Steve Merrill in the house hanging out with us. And, of course, Kevin Dolan on fire right now in the NBA. He's joining us as well. And to say it's been an interesting week or so here, Andy, is probably an understatement. But you continue to cash the tickets. Hope the holiday was a profitable one. And I know on $9 Monday you got something cooking over at Wager Talk. What's going on, man?
Well, you're right. NBA continues to be a cash cow. Hit a 5% yesterday, along with 2 3%ers. 13 and 5 over the last Christmas break, and we're up 52 units since November 18th, just in player props. So all the shenanigans with the rosters, they've actually been a really good thing for me. So I almost put a play up. And then we got news like, whoa, he might not be playing, or he might be playing. So, as always, we just got to wait a little bit. I will probably have my package up at probably about 5 o'clock Eastern. I have all the plays and all the write-ups. You just can't hit submit, like Herm Edwards says. Don't hit submit. Otherwise, you might get stuck with a play with some players. But looking forward to another great night. Look for all the plays to come up about 5 o'clock Eastern.
All right, good stuff there. And Steve Merrill, hope the holidays were profitable, my friend. What do you got locked and loaded for us tonight at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, hit our top 5% NFL teaser play over the weekend. Also hit a 5% total yesterday. So it was a nice weekend with the NFL big plays. And I've got 2 plays for $9 money. Rob Vino's not here, so I didn't dare make a 2-for-1 special for $4.50 because Kevin and Andy cannot comprehend that math like Rob Vino does. But we kept it honest tonight. 2 $9 single plays, the NBA moneymaker. It's the late night game, and also the Monday night football game between the Dolphins and Saints. So 2 best bets for $9 each. And don't forget, you want a full month of basketball. I'm keeping this code active because it's been very popular. 2-for-1 special, college and pro hoops, both for the price of one for a full 30 days, just $179. Hoops, $179. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All right, Hoops 179 it is. And Kevin Dolan, welcome in, my man. Red hot in the NBA, continuing to cash those tickets. So what do you got going on for us here on a $9 Monday at Wager Talk?
Yeah, NBA has just been exceptional for the last, 2 years, Joe. In fairness, I was on a really nice heater heading into the weekend. Their number one profit leader at Wager Talk actually over the previous 3 days, but definitely got a bit hosed on yesterday's card. We dropped our 5% in the Denver Broncos +1 over the NFL, so that wasn't too great. So looking to bounce back, obviously, in this midweek. I have actually no games loaded up for tonight. There's nothing that I liked enough to fire on, which kind of sucks because it's obviously $9 Monday, but still, it is what it is. But I do have some fairly big EPL plays circled up for release tomorrow that I'm looking at. So obviously check back for that, just finalising that card, and excited as always to talk some NBA.
All right, Robert, get that Swiss flag ready. That's right. No plays later. We know what's coming here, damn it. All right, so let's start it, guys, with our contrarian play of the day as usual. And tonight, not that hard to figure out because let's face it, there's an awful lot of money and support behind the Phoenix Suns, who, believe it or not, guys, lost a game. That's right, they lost a game. Shocker. But the good news is the Grizzlies get to play him here tonight. +8.5 here as they continue to get faded And I do believe we've got maybe a coaching COVID protocol, and your guess is as good as mine type of situation. But the idea of backing the Phoenix Suns after a loss seems to be very popular with the public. So let me ask you, Andy Lang, any way we can convince you maybe to go contrarian and maybe take a look here at the Memphis Grizz tonight?
Yeah, I think they nailed this line. 8.5 seems about right. Phoenix has been good at home covering the spread, but they're not blowing out teams completely. And with the Grizzlies with no Dylan Brooks, that obviously hurts. But maybe that just opens up more room for Morant and Desmond Bane. But I'll stay away from the side on that one. I don't want to get near the contrarian gods today. I don't want to make them upset because I have a good card, and I need all the good juju I can get. So you have a couple props I like in this one. John Morant over 11.5 rebounds and assists. He's gone over 2 out of 3 games since his return, and without Dylan Brooks, there's probably going to be a little bit more stats that's going to be added to his production tonight. He's coming off 16 rebounds and assists against the Kings. Phoenix gives up 15 rebounds and assists a game to point guards. So kind of a little bit of a gut play that Morant's going to be just a touch more involved without Dylan Brooks in the lineup. And I do really like DeAndre Ayton over 16.5 points. That's my favorite prop in this game. He's gone over this total 3 straight games. Memphis gives up over 23 points a game to centers. I think he has a big advantage against Steven Adams tonight. So if you're looking to play a prop in this one, DeAndre Ayton over 16.5 points is my favorite.
All right, good stuff there. Phoenix taking on to Memphis here. Steve Merrill, how about it? Can we cut you a slice of Memphis Grizzlies cake tonight here in a contrarian spot?
Yeah, I don't mind fading the public whenever possible. And it's always a red flag for me when a team's in a good situational spot and they underperform. And I actually liked Phoenix on Saturday in that Christmas game. That was my top NBA recommendation as a 6-point favorite. They lost the game outright, of course, to Golden State at home. So that's a red flag for me, and it's kind of a buyer beware sign. So I'd have no problem fading them tonight with a little bit of a feisty dog here. And as Andy said, Morant's probably going to have a good game here. It's his, he's been back for a few now, and I think he'll continue to play better as he's returned. And I think the team will get used to having him in the lineup. So I think that could be the buy sign here with Memphis in the near future. And I look for them to perform better than expected tonight. So I would bless the contrarian dog here at plus 8.5.
All right, plus 8.5, and get the flag ready there, Robert. Cam, talk to us here, man. Contrarian gods are looking and pointing at you and saying Memphis plus 8.5. What do you say?
I thought Andy nailed it in terms of, I think the line on this side is absolutely nailed on as well. I quite like the over in this game, though. It's going to be hard to see where Memphis can slow this Phoenix offense down tonight, to be honest. Suns averaging the highest shooting percentages in the league right now. 47.7%. That number increases even higher for them in home court. 49.1% down in Arizona this season. Again, by far the highest in the league this year. And they're going up against the Memphis Grizzlies team tonight that ranks dead last on opponent 3-point shooting percentage on the road this season at 39.1%, which is, again, by far the worst percentage away from home this season out of any team in the league. So I think 8.5's about right from a side perspective. So I prefer the over here to cash between these two later tonight.
All right, he's looking at the over here tonight in this one. We'll say that I believe it's Monty Williams, in fact, the Phoenix head coach that entered the protocol earlier today. So they'll be without their head coach, but this is the NBA, and who gives a crap about coaches? So the Grizzlies plus 8.5 is who we'll be looking at here tonight for a contrarian play of the day. Now let's take a look at a featured matchup here tonight. We're going to focus on the Utah Jazz taking on the San Antonio Spurs. And boy, oh boy, the Spurs have been actually fun to watch here as of late. The scoring has not been an issue for San Antonio, and Utah's an interesting team here, Steve. When it gets to double digits, it's almost like an instant fade, but here they are kind of middle of the road, 7.5. So how are you going to approach this game tonight?
Yeah, of all the teams in the leagues that have been affected by COVID, Spurs actually remain pretty healthy so far. So I would say if you're looking at the do theory, I guess that's about to change sometime soon. So maybe be careful back in San Antonio with advanced lines anytime soon. But as of now, as we head in for a few hours before tip-off, Looks like a clean slate here for the Spurs. As you said, currently about a 7-point home dog. Big total on this one, 230.5. Difficult to disagree, as you said, Joe, because they've been just red hot offensively, just spanked Detroit in the last game yesterday on Sunday. 51 for 91 shooting from the field, 56%, put up 144 points, and they remain at home, so I don't think there'll be any disruption to that offensive momentum. I don't think they'll be too fatigued either because they only played on the 23rd before that. So hard not to like the over in this one. And Utah, meanwhile, 5 straight losses against the spread. Despite winning the last 3 in a row, they failed to cover as double-digit favorites. So obviously their lines are becoming a bit hefty and a little overpriced from the betting market perspective, whereas the Spurs have covered 3 straight. So I think there's still some value with San Antonio's a live home dog here. And the Jazz, of course, always a much weaker road team. They are 10-3 this year, but they don't have that altitude edge like they do at home. I like San Antonio here, and I'd lean towards the over as well.
All right, leaning towards the over there. That game against Dallas on Christmas took forever. I believe the number was 72 free throws in that game combined. I mean, good Lord, it was like New Year's already. Like, hurry up and end this game. But they did win, but they lost Donovan Mitchell, it looks like, Kev. The heart and soul of the Utah Jazz going to take a couple of games off with a back strain. So what do you think? Might this be a good time to jump on that San Antonio trade?
No, I quite like Utah on this one, Joe. If we go back and revisit that game between these two 10 days ago, Utah were an autopilot for a lot of that game, led by 14 at the half, 16 to kick off the third quarter as well. But, not taking anything away from what the Spurs managed to do in that game in terms of a comeback. But, it almost looked like the Jazz fell asleep at the wheel in that one. They gave up 41 points in 11 minutes, ton of turnovers as well. So, even with Donovan Mitchell out here, I still think the Jazz are the far superior team, man for man. I think seven's a very doable number as well. So, if I'm playing this one, it's going to be Jazz for me to win and cover here on the road in San Antonio.
All right, likes them on the road. And how about it, Andy? I tell you, that first half over was, didn't have to sweat that going into the second. But what do you think here, Andy? Is any sort of prop angle you're looking at in this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember looking at the starting lineups for the Pistons and Spurs game, and I don't know why it didn't occur to me to make a bet. I was like, that's interesting. The Pistons don't have any guards. Wonder who's going to dribble the ball tonight for them. And it turned into a massive blowout. But, yeah, bold strategy by the Pistons there. Well, DeJounte Murray being out, there's going to be a lot of stats left on the board, and there is one play that jumps out for me in this game. Keldon Johnson, over 1.5 made 3-pointers. He's made 2 or more 3-pointers in 8 straight games without Murray. Probably going to be a few extra shots in there for everybody. And he's already attempting 5 a game this last 8-game stretch. So when I see a guy who's attempting 5, 6, and 7 3-pointers, and the book set this line at reasonable juice at only 1.5, he's been accurate. So I'll take Keldon Johnson over 1.5 made 3-pointers. That's my favorite prop in this game.
All right. Yeah, kind of felt that way looking at the Toronto lineup yesterday going, who? All right, guys, we've got an overtime game here tonight. And, well, who better to look at here in an overtime situation than Robert's Houston Rockets taking on the Charlotte Hornets here tonight. And yet another game in the 230s for Charlotte. So it appears the odds makers here have certainly caught up to the Charlotte Hornets' lack of defense. We know Houston going to want to run again, but I don't know, Kevin, have we gotten to the point where maybe it's gone too far towards the over? Could I interest you in an under in this game?
No, absolutely no chance. Every time I come on this show, Charlotte's always in this overtime segment, but I can't step in front. I could not walk to the window with an under ticket on this Charlotte Hornets team. Hornets 10-3-1 to the over their last 14 games. They're 4-1 to the over in the last 5 home games as well. On top of that, Charlotte games have averaged 242.2 points per game over the last 14 starts. So, as I said, there's absolutely no way my money could touch the under in this one. It's a high total for obvious reasons, but, it's over or pass for me.
It certainly feels, Andy, like maybe from a prop perspective, some overs might be coming your way here. What do you think of this game tonight?
Well, yeah, these teams can be tricky because, there's going to be overs. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of trends on who's going to go over. So I do have one that I like. It's a little sneaky. Eric Gordon over 5.5 rebounds and assists. He went under this total last game, but before that, he sailed over in the previous 6 games. Last time he played the Hornets, he had 7 assists and 1 rebound. Very high-paced game, obviously, with Charlotte involved, but Houston is also high-paced as well. So it should be a lot of points and a lot of assists available for Eric Gordon. I'm also going to play Gordon Hayward under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Well, since his 41-point game, he's been awful. He's been in a terrible shooting slump. He hasn't reached double digits in points in the 3 games since then. He also hasn't added many rebounds or assists. His PRA totals the last 3 games are 13, 14, and 10. And the books have this at 28.5. So 7 of 31 from the field the last 3 games. Obviously, he's going to break out at some point, but he's in a shooting slump, so I'll keep playing him under as long as he's not shooting the ball well.
All right, good stuff there. And Merrill, I mean, obviously, we've talked about it a bunch of times. You start getting into these mid-230s, getting to 240, you need good things to happen for both teams, not just one here. So do you trust Houston to score more than 12 points in a fourth quarter here to get this to the over?
Yeah, but the other thing we always talk about too, Joe, as you know, is these highest totals more times than not go over the total, and they're high for a reason. Now, with that said, this is a bit of a bump compared to what the line's been in recent weeks. We all know, as you know, Andy and Kevin both talked about, these teams have been over machines. In fact, I think Kevin said Charlotte 10-3 run, but Houston on a 13-3 overrun their last 16. But 220 range, mid 215 to 220 range is where those totals have been. So this is a price higher. These teams played back on November 27th. The total was 227. They put up 289 combined points, but it's misleading. They went to overtime. There was only 270 points in regulation and only 144 points at halftime. So, look, they soared over last month. I don't see anything changing here. As Andy said, both teams like up-tempo. Charlotte's problem recently, the reason they've gone back-to-back unders is they've shot 39 and 41% those 2 games. But now they're taking on a terrible Rockets defense that's given up almost 50% or more in half of their last 7-8 games. So I look for both teams to make their shots, play fast. Over 235 is the only way I would play it.
All right. It looks like Jalen Green questionable for this one. Miles Bridges, Cody Martin, PJ Washington out with the protocols for the Charlotte Hornets. All right, guys, it is time to take a look at the dogs.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Yeah, we got a few interesting barking dogs here tonight. We got the Rockets, of course we do. We do have the Atlanta Hawks plus 4.5. We got the Timberwolves getting 5.5. We talked about the Spurs. We got the Grizz, Trailblazers. Let's not forget about them. And, of course, the Los Angeles Clippers getting 3.5 in their spot against the Brooklyn Nets. So, Andy, we'll start with you here, my friend. Which one of these might you want to make your dog tonight?
Really like the Spurs and the points. Both teams going to be without their stars. Donovan Mitchell out, obviously out. DeJounte Murray out. Spurs coming off a back-to-back, but they blew out the Pistons so bad. Nobody on the Spurs played more than 25 minutes, so we shouldn't be getting that fatigue issue. Game tonight is at home. Last night's game was at home, and I think the loss of Donovan Mitchell is much more serious for the Jazz than Murray was for the Spurs. In the last 13 games for the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell was the leading scorer in 12 of those. But in the last 18 games for the Spurs, Murray was the leading scorer in only 4 of them. I think San Antonio's got much more depth. I think they're going to keep it close. I would expect maybe a little bit of a sluggish start from Utah as they get to working around without Donovan Mitchell. So I think the Spurs keep this one close, and they may make this a really, really close game going into the fourth.
Ooh, all right. Spurs getting 7. Steve Merrill, what do you think here, man? Which one of these would you make your dog tonight?
Yeah, a lot of interesting ones to look at here. Obviously, if that Charlotte-Houston game is a score fest, no defense, as I said, maybe that's a live dog with Houston, but I don't think so because Charlotte's in a revenge spot there, although they are coming off an extended West Coast trip. So it might be a little flat, but I'm going to stay off Roberts Rockets. I'm not going to use that one. By the way, Teddy had a big game breakdown on Wager Talk today with that Bulls and Hawks game. And the Hawks are just in a free fall. I think they've lost 7 straight on that previously strong home court. And by the way, the straight up winner in each of the last 12 Hawk games has covered the spread. They're 4-8 straight up, but the straight up winner has gone 12-0 against the spread. So I'm going to stay off that one, as I think the Bulls probably get the win. Andy Lang is my dog, so I'm going to go right back with that dog as well. And I mentioned it earlier. I like the Spurs. They're playing great basketball. I know it's a revenge spot for Utah, but I think Utah could be a little bit flat after that Saturday Christmas Day game. That's always a big game, that when you play on Christmas Day. So maybe a little bit of a hangover there heading to San Antonio here. And the Spurs aren't just winning. They're crushing the last 3 opponents, Clippers, Lakers, and Pistons. They beat them all by easily 20-plus points on average. So this is a team that's red hot. I think they keep that offensive momentum going at home tonight after 144 yesterday. So I will agree with the San Antonio Spurs as my dog tonight.
All right, that's 2 for the Spurs. That leaves Kevin Dolan. No Swiss flag here, Kev. Where are you going? Which one of these is your dog tonight?
I quite like Atlanta, Joe. Now, FYI, I sent this number into the show at +5.5. I believe it's 4.5 now, but, I still kind of like Atlanta to stay within the number here against Chicago tonight. Obviously the Hawks are absolutely gutted roster-wise through COVID protocol. No Trae Young, no John Collins, no Gallinari, and so on. Atlanta also had a stretch run of 3 games over just 4 days over the Christmas break as well. You could see that fatigue start to get to them against the Knicks on Saturday. Put up just 36 points in the second half of that game. So I think with the added rest factor here for them, they'll be a little fresher tonight, especially at home. And they still have some key cogs in place for this game. Bogdanovich, Cam Reddish, Clint Capella. So I don't expect this to be an easy out for the Bulls tonight. And I like Atlanta, to stay within the number here at home tonight against Chicago.
Yeah, and listen, it was enough to beat the Sixers there last week, too. So Atlanta +4.5 is where Kevin is going. That is his dog tonight. So now when we put it all together, it's not the biggest of cards, but certainly some intriguing spots on it. So, Andy, we will start with you, my friend. 60 seconds on the clock. Do with it as you will. Just drop us a best bet here, man. What's going on tonight for you?
Well, real quick, before you place your bets on the Bulls Hawks game, Trae Young, right before we went on there, he passed a negative COVID test. He passes one more. Yeah, if he passes one more, he will play tonight. So keep your eye on that. Best bet tonight for me, man, I love Porzingis tonight, over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's a perfect situation for him against Portland. Mavericks are without several of their big scorers, and Doncic and Hardaway. He's by far the best scorer in the lineup for Dallas, and Portland just had to put Nurkic on the COVID list, so he is out. Takes away a huge part of that interior defense. Looks like Larry Nance will be starting for him. Porzingis had 2 huge games on the 13th and 15th of December. He went for 37 PRA and 38 PRA. Those were without Doncic. He got hurt on the 19th. He returned for the Christmas game and just went off 39 PRA in a game that he really flat out outplayed Gobert. So no defensive threat inside for Portland. I love Porzingis. He should flourish tonight.
All right, boom. Get it going. All right, Steve Merrill, talk to us here, man. Where are you going here tonight in the NBA best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to look at an NBA over-under for you for a free play for Monday night. Just a quick reminder, it is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. I got the Monday night NFL play between the Saints Dolphins. Also a strong late night NBA moneymaker best bet, a game we did not talk about here on the show today. Both of those just $9, WagerTalk.com. And, of course, if you want a 30-day college and pro basketball package combined, I've been number 1 each of the last 2 years in college hoops. NBA's been great this year as well. Get it for half price, $179, gets you a full 30 days of all basketball. Hoops, $179, Hoops, Hoops, $179. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. That's the promo code to get it done. Going to look at the over in the Hornets and Rockets game, over 235. I know the first game had 289 because of overtime, but it had 270 without overtime. I think these two teams soar over once again. Rockets have gone over 13 of their last 16. Hornets have gone over 10 of their last 13. Both teams play no defense. They played an extremely fast pace. It all adds up to a lot of points. Charlotte and Houston over 235 tonight on Monday.
All right. Expecting some points in this one. All right, Kevin Dolan, 60 seconds here on the clock. I know you don't have anything up at WagerTalk.com, but which way are you leaning here tonight on the card?
I feel like changing back to Atlanta now, Joe, that Andy's give us the breaking news about Trae Young. But I'll choose a different game. I'm going to look towards Boston, minus the points on the road against Minnesota to win and cover this one. Boston just 4 wins over the last 11 games, obviously. But, what a stretch of opponents. Lakers, Clippers, Utah, Milwaukee twice, Phoenix, Golden State, Philly. I mean, the Celtics almost deserve a break after that kind of schedule. And they're up against an extremely short-handed Timberwolves team later tonight. So I expect them to get it done. Both teams obviously coming in light here roster-wise. But Boston are the deeper team, and they arguably should have got the win last time out against Milwaukee as well. Despite not shooting particularly well in that game either. Floor percentage was down from their season average. Their fast break efficiency was down also. Their points in the paint was down by over 36% as well. So, if they can play like that on defense, like they did against Milwaukee, only with an improvement offense-wise, I think they get it done there. So Boston minus 5.5, best bet.
Wow, nice. Celtics, 9 straight against the Timberwolves. In fact, the last time they lost to Minnesota, you got to go back to the 2013-14 season. So looking to keep it rolling here against the T-Wolves tonight. And as we recap it for you here, guys, Andy Lang, his dog tonight says, give me some Spurs +7. His best bet going to that Dallas game. He likes Porzingis over the 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Merrill, he too, back in the Spurs +7. He does like the over as his best bet. Shocker in the Rockets Hornets, not expecting a lot of defense. Kevin Dolan, Hawks +4.5. And if Trae Young is going tonight, guys, if Andy Lang has got the scoop and that second negative comes, it ain't going to be 4.5. I'll tell you that right now. So 4.5 there to his dog, and the Celtics laying the 5.5 against the T-Wolves tonight. Our contrarian play of the day. We're going to take a look at the Memphis Grizzlies +8.5 taking on the Phoenix Suns. It is $9 Monday, guys, at WagerTalk.com, which means, of course, best bets, all $9 right now. If you head over there, there is some great stuff going on tonight. Obviously, NBA, NFL going on here, and, of course, any of the upcoming bowl games. Best bets, just $9 right now over at WagerTalk.com. Go visit Andy Lang, Steve Merrill, and Kevin Dolan. Hop on those best bets, guys. Grab them tonight. Let's start the week off on a profitable note, and of course, help to pay for those Christmas bills here that might be rolling in here shortly. So there you have it here, guys. And of course, if you hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner, you get notified when we do go live with these shows. And of course, we'll be back again tomorrow here with another full slate in the association. But until then, on behalf of Andy Lang, Steve Merrill, and Kevin Dolan, guys, best of luck with your plays tonight. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Good luck.
WagerTalk continues to be an innovator in this industry, and our WagerBucks program is just one example. Because it's the holidays and we're feeling festive, we're giving you $100 worth of WagerBucks for only $49 using promo code WB49 at checkout. So how do they work? It's simple. You buy credits in bulk at a discounted rate and then apply them dollar for dollar towards your purchase. Use your purchase WagerBucks on $2 Tuesday, $9 packages on Monday. Buy your favorite 5% plays with or without the guarantee. Grab a 7-day all-access pass or even a 12-month package. That's right, purchase WagerBucks can be used on everything with no restrictions at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Due to the incredible savings, this special offer is limited to 1 per customer. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.